a Eurasian saber-toothed cat. This is not an unfamiliar creature. We know them from Diego from Ice Age. The BBC did a good job of portraying and animating this cat in their series Walking with Beasts. So cats are known. Saber-toothed cats are known. We know what they are. We think we know. And we don't know this one very well. We all know Smilodon. We all know the lion-sized, big, giant, iconic saber-toothed cat from the La Brea tar pits in California. But we don't know this one. This one is its likely cousin, not ancestor, but cousin. An animal that was about the size of a jaguar, but looked nothing alike. Skeletally, it was very cat-like, though it was not employing the same modality of hunting and of operating as cats do today. It was a very different kind of cat. A cat with very, 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 very large canines. Associated with those large canines is a whole slew of adaptations that can be commonly found amongst saber-toothed cats and about 6 other groups of animals, mammals, that have evolved the saber-toothed morphology. With giant, blade-like, thin canines, much reduced lower canines, sometimes a weird mandible. In this case, I call it weird because it's unlike any other mandibular shape of any modern carnivore or animal. It's got this giant flange and this massive chin. A reduction in the coronoid process of the mandible, which is this process here. And then the skull itself, there is usually, in all saber-toothed animals, there is a rising of the nasal palatine face complex. There is an elongation of the mastoid process, which is what attaches the neck muscles. If my thumb is the muscle itself, it does this. It does a lot of this action, and it's hypertrophied. It's much larger, and it has a much wider gait. It can open his jaw much wider. This is likely inaccurate, but they were able to open their jaws much wider than modern cats. And then it also had a massively powerful, massively developed occipital condyle, which is the area that attaches the skull to the rest of the body. And from there one can infer that by the size of it, it was very much in use, very much subject to a lot of force. Now, this skull is slightly crushed, but it still reveals the anatomy of this creature. And this is an animal that had a profound influence on our own evolution, because it lived with us in Africa, it lived with us in Eurasia, and we later encountered forms of this cat that were much larger in the forms of the Smilodon genus in South America and North America. And evidence of encounters between these cats and people, hominins, have been found, wherein the skull of the hominin was found with 2 marks that were correspondent with the much more almond shape cross-section of the sabers of a saber-toothed cat. And so this is a cat that I have encountered in Switzerland at the Museum of Natural History in Basel, and that you have encountered in my DeviantArt or on my Facebook. I've made a metal sculpture of them before, but this next project is going to be making one of these cats scientifically accurately, anatomically accurately, proportionally, and in a manner that is accurate, engaging, and beautiful.